Everyone heard about the Easter Island, but did you know the history behind it? Easter Island, also known locally as Tepito o Tejenua or Isla de Pascua in Spanish, is an island in the Pacific Ocean, Polynesia, that is officially part of Chile. It is around 3,600 kilometers west of Chile, parallel to the Chilean city of Caldere, which is north of Santiago. The island is generally triangular in form and has a population of 3,791 people, 3,304 of whom live in the capital Hangaroi. Poike, Ranokau, and Terevaka are the three volcanoes that make up the island. It is well renowned for his numerous moai, which are massive stone statues that span along the coast. Mataveri International Airport is the only one on the island, with a track length of 2,903 meters. It is also considered as an alternate landing route for the US space program in the case of an accident or emergency. It was named the Easter Island because Dutchman Jacob Roggeveen discovered it on Easter Day in 1722. Rapa Nui is not the island's original name. It was created by established laborers from Rapa in the Bass Islands, who thought it looked like their own island. Rapa Nui was given the moniker Tepito o Tejenua, or translated Navel of the World, by Rapa Nujan due to its seclusion. Mataki Teranki is another traditional name for the island, which translates to eyes looking up at the sky. So what was it like before the Europeans? Rapa Nui was founded around the year 300 by Polynesians, most likely from the Marquise Islands, who brought virtually fully Stone Age civilization with them. According to local legend, King Hotu Matua led a colonial mission of 50 men in 2 boats. All cultural elements of Rapa Nui prior to the arrival of Europeans indicate that no other groups arrived, and the assumptions of the arrival of more advanced settlers from the south are excluded, as are the assumptions of the arrival of more advanced settlers from America, Melanesia, Egypt, or elsewhere. Between the 10th and 16th centuries, the island society expanded considerably, with little towns growing along practically the whole shore. This society's high cultural level is primarily recognized for its massive stone statues, moai and ahu. The island is now nearly desert, with plants that seldom grow even low vegetation or taller grass. Previously, the island had large palm tree forests, and the general idea is that the locals used all of the woods on the island to build sculptures. After it was long assumed, thanks to archaeological research, that wooden molds were used to make the statues and that they were transported to their current locations using wooden frames during rituals. Rapa Nuiska tradition metaphorically referred to spiritual strength. Today it is known that the statues were moved thanks to only 3 groups of people who tied moai with ropes and pulled so that they looked like the gods that are slowly walking. Another truth is that the climatic circumstances during the smaller ice age from around 1650 to 1850 most likely led to the elimination of the island's woods, as well as exotic species of Polynesian rats that fed on coconuts. Later, the culture of enormous monuments has given way to the religion of birdmen, which originated in the coastal village of Orongo and resulted in the hurling or damage of most moai and ahu statues. Then the Europeans arrived. As mentioned earlier, Easter Island made its first encounter with Europe on June 5, 1722, Easter Sunday, when Dutch navigator Jacob Roggeveen discovered an island with a population of between 2,000 to 3,000 settlers. However, if he had arrived a few centuries earlier, he would have probably found 10,000 to 15,000 individuals. Easter Island's culture is currently assumed to have declined dramatically around a century before the Dutch arrived, as a result of overcrowding, forest devastation, and overexploration of scarce natural resources. In 1786, French adventurer Jean-François de Galaup-La Pérouse explored the island. He traveled there from Chile's Cape Horn and created a thorough map of Easter Island during his stay there. Later, he traveled to the Hawaiian Islands, Japan, and the rest of Asia. By the mid-19th century, the population had recovered to around 4,000 people. Then, in under 20 years, slave merchants and illnesses introduced by mainland residents nearly wiped off the entire population. only 111 people survived on the island in 1877. In 1888, Chile ultimately acquired Easter Island. According to Policarpo Toro, the Treaty on the Annexation of the Islands, or in Spanish, Tratado de Anexión de la Isla, was signed between the Chilean government and the indigenous people. In 1988, almost all of Easter Island was inscribed as a national park on the UNESCO World Heritage List in Australia and Oceania. The national park is divided into 7 areas. First, Early Cow is named after a 324-meter high extinct volcano in the southwest of the island. Today a crater lake. There is also the coastal village of Orongo, but also the international airport Mataveri. Second, Punapau is an ancient quarry in the southwest of the island where the heads of Moai were carved. Third, Early Raraku is a volcanic crater on the lower slopes of the Teravaka volcano. It served as a quarry for almost 500 years, and 95% of the sculptures on the island were carved from it. Fourth, Anakena is a white coral sandy beach in the northeast of the island. Fifth, Ahu Akivi, with 7 moais rebuilt in the 1960s. Sixth, Costa Norte is the northern volcanic coast of the island. Seventh, Hangaroa is the main settlement on the island located between Teravaka and Ranokau volcanoes. Because Easter Island is famous for its Moai and Ahu statues, we can only hope that it will remain as is and no further damage will happen to one of the world's most recognizable heritage sites. If you want to know more, please subscribe, leave a like, and see you in the next episode of History 7.